This house doesn't sit on top of a graveyard, but it has 150 years of history and makes for a great stage for the videos I'm going to show you. I want to start with a beginner's level trick, but it's one that I see a lot. I'm still surprised that people fall for it. As you can tell from the audio, I'm not using top-of-the-line equipment here. I do this for two reasons. The first, I can't afford it. I'm not getting paid for doing this. The second is to demonstrate just how easy it is to fabricate evidence by just using a simple digital camera and everyday items. I shoot all my videos alone using just this one camera. No one is ever off frame, and the only props I'll ever use are safety pins, these little eye screws here, some rope, fishing line, and most important, your imagination. Alright, it's obvious how I did that. All I do is attach one of these little eye screws to the bottom of the door, tie on my fishing line, go back behind the camera, and give it a pull. But I also want to give you some other stuff to look for, like this loose door knob. By taking a second loop of fishing line here, if I could find the end, putting it over the doorknob, and then going back behind the camera, and just give it a little tug. Sounds like the doorknob is turning, and the latch is coming undone. But also take notice of the angle of the shot. Now I'm 6'1", about 200 pounds, but with the camera off to the side there, I can just easily hide inside. And ooh, I'm a ghost. I recently came upon a series of videos on YouTube about a little girl haunting a pantry in the kitchen. If you go to YouTube and just type in haunted pantry, you'll see the ones I mean. And the one thing that I noticed, other than the angle of the shot, is the floor area of the pantry has been totally cleared out. And if someone small enough was hiding in there, after the door opened and the camera pulls in, that person could have easily slipped in underneath there. And then as the camera comes down, that person could sneak underneath the camera. So just be aware of that when you're watching these videos. Because if your closets and pantries are anything like mine, you notice they're loaded with stuff. So just look for those little things. Look for the angles. Look for clearing of stuff where people can hide. And most importantly, just question these. Don't fall for them. Alright, this one took a little bit more work, not to mention my fabulous acting and fancy footwork. So, you already know how the door opens. I had the line tied to the bottom of the door, had it strung up underneath the sheets, and I gave it a pull, and that opened the door. Now to get it to close, I strung a second line underneath the sheets, along the door, through an eye screw, then around this leg of the table here, and back over and attached to the door. So by pulling that, it just closed the door. The answer, my friend, is trust. Now there are a number of paranormal groups out there who only release evidence after running through filters of science and logic. But for every honest paranormal group, there are about 10 who are trying to fool you. So just be aware when you're looking around out there and continue to ask yourself, did it really happen? Did I just want it to happen? Or did someone make it happen? So until next time, happy haunting. Unfortunately, I can't show you the original footage. It's owned by the Syfi channel. But I'll do my best to set it up for you. It was in a Gettysburg Inn, and there was a chair in the corner of this hotel room that was said to wobble or move. And beside the chair there was a bureau, and it had like a picture frame and some other stuff in a mirror. And while the investigator slept, he set a camera up to watch that chair, but that's when the picture frame moved. So for my demonstration here, I'm going to just use what I have in this room. We'll say the door opens in the middle of the night while people are sleeping, and our picture frame will be here. Just moved. When the picture frame moved, it slid back and away like this. Now that's an easy trick to pull off with just a little fishing line attached to the back here. But when the investigator got up out of bed and he checked all around, he didn't find any fishing line, didn't find any magnets, no tampering at all. Now, if the picture frame moved this way, forward, I would have a little bit harder time recreating this video because you'd see the fishing line up here on the tabletop. But because it did slide back like this, it only took me a few tries to fabricate a possible explanation. Now the toughest part of this trick is how do you get something to move while someone's in the room and then within seconds remove all evidence of tampering. Say if you tie a fishing line to the corner of the picture frame or to the stand, of course they're going to see it. But take a look at this. Now I'm going to use some pretty thick fishing line here, and that's just so you can see it on camera. This trick could be done easily with a lot thinner. Now, of course, I'm not going to tie this to the corner of the picture frame or even loop it around and tie it off in a knot. So if you do that, we're just going to be dragging the picture frame around, and you got your evidence right there of tampering. But what I found out is if you just take the fishing line and kind of just gently loop it around, don't tie it off, just kind of pinch the loose end in your fingers there when you're out of the area. And you give it one tug, it's going to move the picture frame. Then you release that end, and you give it another tug, that fishing line pulls away, removing all evidence. For this exercise, let's just say I'm a hotel owner, and I've just invited the most popular, well-respected paranormal investigation team to my place to check it out. And I want to be certified as haunted, because that's going to fill some rooms. So the first thing I would do is set up the backstories. I'd go on and on about how this door opens in the middle of the night and a shadowy figure in a top hat walks out. So that would put all the focus of the cameras on this door, and maybe they might not pay attention to the other stuff around it. And then I could set up, say, my picture frame for one, take the fishing line, tie it around it, and then if I had a hole in the floor, string the fishing line down through that, and then I'd have a nice setup either in the basement or the room below or an adjoining room. Then all I have to do is like wait for the investigator to go to sleep, so the lights go out, give it a few minutes, and then give it a quick tug. Investigator jumps out of bed. I pull the line. No evidence, and I'm haunted.